Media Sports slash Hip Hop. One limits to Slot Media right here. This right here is my review on the NFL draft. I said I was coming on doing the NFL draft. It's been a week officially since the draft just got started. Well, yeah, Saturday makes it official week since the NFL draft ended. So I'm gonna talk about stuff I think this is going on in the draft that I like. So my winners, I'm gonna talk about winners. But I talk about my winners in the draft were Chicago Bears, but of course Caleb Williams. Everybody doesn't get that. Romeo Aduze, definitely gotta talk about him. That's another weapon. Like the Bears home, they're gonna be so exciting on offense that it's like fantasy football almost. Like they're gonna look that good on offense. That man, like I said, I can't wait to see the Bears. So I like the Bears, what the Bears did. Also like what the Chargers did, like what they got in the draft. So definitely love the Chargers. Love what they did on offense as well. And really, I think just I like what Jim Harbaugh is doing. Definitely, putting his stance on it and everything with getting just protection, weapons on offense. I like Zach. I like what the Chargers did as well. Like the Commanders, love what the Commanders did as well. Commanders in rebuilding, Jaden McDaniels at quarterback, like they did with giving him weapons, like they did on defense. I'm gonna see how the Commanders gonna look. I know they're led by former Falcons coach. Of course, I'm from Georgia, so I know about the Falcons. They're led by former Falcons head coach Dan Quinn. Gets his second start as a head coach this time with the Washington Commanders. Let's see how it goes and all that. So, seems like they're doing all the right pieces right now. Dan Quinn is. So, let's see how this goes. So, Dan Quinn for sure, doing his thing with the Washington Commanders. So, gotta talk about that. Who else like what the Steelers did? I forgot about that. Love what the Steelers did. The Steelers always draft real well. I like what they did again for what they did on offense. So those were my winners. Who I thought the draft: Steelers, Chargers, Bears. That's all the teams. All the teams that I like on what they did in the draft. Trying to think in my head anybody else that I think a couple other people did solid. Made solid picks and all, but those are the more teams that I feel like stood out where I'm like, oh, they did real good in the draft and all that. I'm talking about my favorite teams. After I explained a lot of players that can make an impact. Keon Coleman for the Buffalo Bills. I like him. Kind of reminds me, his personality is of a Chad Ochocinco, but he's also good on the football field. I can't wait to see what he does. So look out for him. I think he's going to be good. Troy Franklin as well. The Broncos selected him with the fourth round. I think he was a steal. Kind of reminds me of it could be like a Tank Dell. Somebody in coming the fourth round, make an impact for the Broncos, give Bo Nix some weapons because we all know Bo Nix is going to be quarterback for the Broncos. It's not going to be Zach Wilson. They just hired him just in case, Zach Wilson. So and all that. And a lot like what the Browns got with Jamari Thrash. Watch out for him. I like him as well. I think he might be a steal. Could help out Deshaun Watson because I feel like this is Deshaun Watson's final year in Cleveland. Like he got to show up because pretty much everything the Texans got for that trade. I think going on 3 or 4 years since the Texans made that trade. So I feel like for sure like this Deshaun Watson year make or break year for him. So I'm glad I like the weapon they got. I like the Browns draft overall, but I like the weapon they got with getting Jamari Thrash. So that's everything. Of course, the winners and losers and players I thought that I liked that I think will make an impact as well. Now I'll talk about the losers and all that. Losers, I think, with the Raiders by not selecting a quarterback. Going with Gardner Minshew, throwing the ball to him. I don't know. Like, I understand they couldn't get a quarterback because Falcons got Michael Penix. I'll talk about that later on in this video. The Falcons got Michael Penix, so I understand why pretty much like they felt they couldn't get their guy because they wanted to get Michael Penix, then Jamie Daniels as well. But still, I'm like, okay, I feel like you got to get your quarterback. Should have got them a quarterback in the draft. I didn't like what they did in the draft. Also, as well, I didn't like what the Giants did. I think the Giants should have got a running back to replace Saquon Barkley, and they should have got a quarterback because I don't believe in Daniel. I know he was hurt and all that, but the Falcons getting a quarterback, definitely the Giants could definitely get them a quarterback. So I felt like the Giants should have got them a quarterback. I know you paid Daniel Jones all that money, all that, but I think they should try to get them a quarterback. So those are teams I didn't like in the draft. I felt like they could have done more in the draft than like what they did. The Giants and the Raiders. Those are the main teams that stood out for me where I'm like, thought they could have done more in the draft and all. And I forgot to talk about Philly too. I like what Philly did in the draft to getting them cornerback. Even Michael Parsons had to give it up to Philly for what they did in the draft, getting all those getting them two cornerbacks. Definitely, man. So I definitely like what the Eagles did as well, getting help in the secondary. 'Cause that's what really torched them in the playoffs. That's how they made Baker Mayfield like almost like Patrick Mahomes and all that. Or you felt like Drew Brees was back in the NFC South and all that. The way Baker Mayfield was able to light them up in the secondary of the Eagles. So I feel like for sure I did like what the Eagles did as well and all that. So now let's talk about my favorite teams. Like my Vikings, we got J.J. McCarthy in the draft. Got Dallas Turner and cornerback Kyrie Jackson, and we got some help on the O line and defensive line. I like what we did. The Vikings. I thought maybe we should get a running back. I know we still have Cam Akers. He's coming back from injury, but and if we got Aaron Jones in the offseason, so I guess that's why they didn't want to get a running back. But I feel like we could have got more help on offense by getting a running back. I feel like that should be something. A receiver, I ain't really think we need a receiver. We already got Brandon Powell, Jordan Addison, and Justin Jefferson, and T.J. Hockenson as a weapon too. So you need that much on offense. And I heard we're trying to get Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd might come to Minnesota. Hope he does, definitely. But I feel like another offense of what we should have got is running back. I feel like maybe in the fourth, fifth round could have got us a running back. Cause like I said, even Giants, they did get a running back in the fifth round and all that. But I feel like they should went higher and got them a running back. But yeah, I didn't really kind of I really felt like we should have got a running back. And I know people don't like J.J. McCarthy, all this and everything about, he's not this, he's not the elite quarterback. People think Jim Harbaugh was just hyping him up and all that because he went to Michigan and all that. I feel like I heard a good take from Colin Hurst said this. I do like this. I feel like J.J. McCarthy is like an Alex Smith. Everybody know how good of a quarterback. That's his potential. His ceiling could be Alex Smith. Alex Smith wasn't the greatest quarterback and all that, but he won you games and all. He never was able to get to the Super Bowl, but he came close a couple of times to get to the Super Bowl. I feel like with J.J. McCarthy, you put the right weapons around him. You give him all these pieces he got with a number receiver, Justin Jefferson. You got a good tight end. You got 2 running backs. And we did good on defense, like I said. We're helping out the defense in the draft. I feel like J.J. McCarthy can win you games and be a good quarterback. And then he'll be sitting behind Sam Darnold as well. It's not like he's going to start right away. I feel like they'll let Sam Darnold let them go out in preseason and see who does well. So I feel like for sure, man, J.J. McCarthy can be a good quarterback for us. But I feel like that's the perfect scene of somebody like an Alex Smith, Joe Flacco, them kind of quarterbacks. Quarterbacks that weren't just so elite and so, oh my goodness, they were spectacular, put up big numbers. They can just win you games. You give them the right piece around them, they can win you games. And I feel like J.J. McCarthy has the right piece around to help him out win in games. And we got a good coach that's going to get us there for it. That's going to be there for us. So that's going to be there for him to help him out. So I thought J.J. McCarthy, yeah, everybody's looking at him as the weakest link out of all the quarterbacks that got drafted because always like that weak guy and all that. But I feel like he's set up with the best position to win because he has more weapons and all that. To me, Drake Maye is the one that kind of, he's walking into something where, like, he might not start right away, but he doesn't really have any weapons around him and all. So, out of everybody that got drafted besides Caleb Williams, to me, J.J. McCarthy has the best weapons, to me, in my opinion. So, I feel like J.J. McCarthy definitely should be able to shine and do well in Minnesota because he has the second most weapons out of all the quarterbacks that got drafted. So, he has the better tools around him. So, that's all he needs. So I feel like he definitely would do well and all that. So now let's talk about the Falcons. You see right here, Michael Vick right here, right behind me. We drafted a quarterback, the first black quarterback we drafted since Michael Vick. So we got Michael Penix. Everybody's a head scratcher. People had different takes on it. People saying, okay, Kirk Cousins is coming from an injury. We might not have him for like another 2 years or so. Kirk Cousins might not be here for probably just 2 years, then that's it. So then you got Michael Penix waiting, and like he's on a rookie deal, which like every organization loves a rookie deal because it's like the cheapest deal to have. But in my opinion, it's like this. I'm like, you could have used it on defense, help your defense out, because that's really what's the problem for us, our defense. We have good offense. We got Bijan Robinson. We got Drake London. Got Kyle Pitts. Signed Daryl Mooney. Signed Rondale Moore. So you have the weapons and all that, everything you need. You could have even got another receiver. You had available to get Romeo Daze. Could have got him with Bears drafted. But to me, it's like, I just look at it like, I just kind of feel like, okay, maybe you could have waited. I know there's some people, organizations saying, oh, you might not, if Kirk Cousins does well, you might not be able to draft that high again and all that. But who's to say and all that, that Kirk Cousins is going to do so well? We don't know because Kirk Cousins is another quarterback. To me, also, just like I felt with J.J. McCarthy, they're both around the same kind of quarterbacks. I feel like our Vikings we just got like another version almost of Kirk Cousins with J.J. McCarthy. And no, J.J. McCarthy is just younger. But, you have to have the right weapons around Kirk Cousins to succeed. I mean, he has the weapons and all that has the defense. So, we don't know what he's to say if he can get hurt again. Like I say, he's an older quarterback. So, who, you know what I'm saying? So, who knows? The season might not go so well, and then you might be up again for a draft to get a quarterback and all. So, I feel like it's a wasted pick getting Michael Penix. I didn't really agree with that in my opinion. That's why I was like, a quarterback. I'm like, I would say get a quarterback, but I said I would think third, fourth, later round and all that to get a quarterback. Not waiting until, not definitely just right ahead of your first pick. I feel like this shit later on in the draft, you should get a quarterback and all. Not like in the first round. Like somebody that's really going to be intended to start and all that. Like I said, it's going to be a fun preseason. It's going to be an interesting preseason. I know about that with Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr. going at it, because especially since Kirk Cousins said he was caught off guard with it. But yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like, the Falcons getting a quarterback in the first one. I think should have went defense. Should have got Dallas Turner, which from Vikings what we got when we got Dallas Turner. But Devin should have went with defense. Should have got a defensive cornerback or a linebacker or a defensive end, because we haven't, like I said, we haven't had a good sack rusher or somebody good that can sack the quarterback since John Abraham, in my opinion. Since John Abraham, I know we got Grady Jarrett, but he's getting up there in age. But we had a good quarterback. We hadn't had a good defensive lineman to get to the quarterback since John Abraham, to be honest. So yeah, I wasn't feeling. I didn't like that for Georgia, for us, everybody, us hometown over here in Georgia, us getting Dallas. We should have got Dallas Turner, but instead with Michael Penix Jr. I feel like if you're gonna go offensive weapon, should have got a receiver. You want to get another offensive weapon, but instead you go quarterback, and I'm like, Michael Penix is a good quarterback. I understand what other commentators are saying about that, and all the sportscast podcasts are saying about, it's not a bad draft because if we win and all that, at least we got a quarterback winning the rings when Kirk Cousins might be done after his 4-year deal and all that, or he might only be there for 2 years and all. But I feel like I could have spent it on something else, because like I said, you never know. You might be in the same position again. Now, you never know what can happen, and you're going to be like, dang, I already got a quarterback, don't need the quarterback now, and then you might be just stuck with Kirk Cousins and all. So, we're interesting to see. It's going to be a very interesting, like I said, preseason for the Falcons and all that, very interesting training camp and all, with Michael Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins going at it. So, we'll see and all. But like I always say, if you like the content, please don't hesitate to hit that like, subscribe button. It's Sly Media Sports /hip hop. It's one of Mr. Sly Media right here. This is Robert Drew on the NFL Draft with the winners and losers and the teams I like, and I talked about my favorite teams, what they did and what I feel like they should did, and what they did do, and what I did like did, and what I didn't like that they did. So talked about all that on here. Like I said, next video coming, I will be talking about Kendrick Lamar and this Drake beef. Kendrick dropped 2 diss tracks in one day, pretty much. Like Drake dropped his diss track, so it's a lot going on. Of course, I'm gonna talk about in the video. I gotta listen to each one of them. I heard snicks and pieces, but I gotta listen to all of them to see who I think won, who I think did good in the battle with this beef. So stay tuned for that. That's gonna probably come tonight or tomorrow afternoon, either one of the two. I'm gonna do a review on that Kendrick Lamar Drake beef tomorrow afternoon or later on today. So y'all stay tuned for that. This is Sly Media. Sly Media Sports. And like I said, if you're not tuned in to Sly Media, where I talk about superheroes and movies and all that, y'all tap into that channel as well. But this right here is Sly Media Sports. Y'all have a good day. Be safe wherever you at. This is Sly Media Sports /hip hop. I'm out.